What's going on, guys? Welcome back to a new video. Let's check out what's going on in the market today. All right, so today we anticipated some buys from gold stemming from a lot of the news that we heard before the weekend and also during the weekend of all that we were hearing with the war in Iraq, Iran going back and forth. Now, interestingly enough, we got a sell on gold in the markets today. So this seems a bit conflicting. Even me myself, I had to start looking into things on why price has been a bit choppy lately, why price has been a little undecided on what it wants to do, why didn't we get a buy side move on gold, especially since gold is our safe haven in times of war. In doing some research, found some interesting things. For example, Trump stated that he may get involved. He's currently undecided. He's weighing his options right now, but he is considering a possible involvement in the war currently going on. Let's go to CNN real quick. Let's see what the news is saying. And first of all, the headline says why it will be hard for Trump to stay out of the conflict with Iran. And let's read just a bit. But right over here, this specific section says CNN's White House team has reported that the president is deeply skeptical about throwing the United States into the fray. Such a move would be fraught with danger. It could lead to the expansion of the conflict beyond its current belligerence and lead to a grueling open-ended war with no clear endgame. If there's one lesson from the early 21st century, yada yada yada, but a U.S. skipping down here, a U.S. intervention would also widen deep strains in Trump's political base, dismantle core principles of his America First movement, that the United States should stay out of foreign quagmires after more than a decade of pain in Iraq and Afghanistan, so on and so forth. So obviously there are a lot of concerns in getting involved in this, and obviously the markets in itself, just hearing that we can have some kind of possible involvement in this should usually have equities start to sell and usually should have the commodities start to rise. However, we did not see that, and as we move over to investing.com, as we see why, right? We see that the stock market today, S&P 500, did jump despite conflicting reports of Iran eyeing truce. Okay, so that's a little bit of more information for us. They are eyeing a truce. So now it starts to make a little bit more sense why markets could be a little choppy, or why we could see that there's a little bit more hope in the market. So we're seeing a spike when it comes to the equities. We're seeing a sell-off when it comes to commodities like gold, right? Because there may be some signs of Iran eyeing a truce. Maybe they're losing too many people, don't have enough resources to fight and continue fighting this war, and maybe we could see the end near. At the same time, we're also seeing on the other side that Trump is considering involvement, although he does see that involvement could be disastrous for us, but the fact that he's considering it does cause the markets to be a little choppy, right? Those conflicting fundamental stories, they are going to be a sign of choppiness in the markets, where you're going to see some consolidation, right? You're going to see some down moves, you're going to see some up moves, but no clear direction. And if we go back to the charts, we're going to see that's kind of what we're seeing here. Although we did get a nice sell to start off the New York session, we did retest and then come back down to the sells, right? Market is still undecided on where it wants to go, and we need to be very, very careful in these moments. This is what I warned a lot of my traders about. In these moments, there's no like for sure, surefire direction that the market is going to take, right? You could see a lot of consolidation, you could see a lot of choppiness. And what I would advise during this time is taking shorter moves, right? Reduce the amount of pips that you go for, the amount of points that you go for, whatever you trade. But you want to reduce the amount that you go for and go for those short spurts and just capitalize on those things. If you stay as a swing trader, it may hurt you during these times, because again, there's so much uncertainty in the market, so much uncertainty in the information being flown back and forth, as you just read, that we don't necessarily know where the market is going to go, and that's going to cause an environment of choppiness, right? So if I was trading these markets this week, I'd be cautious. I'd be taking more scalps. I'd be taking shorter moves in general, shorter intraday moves, and I'd also be watching out for more news releases and what else is going on. If the markets and the fundamentals will sway one way, and which will also cause the technicals to sway the same way as well. So that's one thing. The other thing is we also have FOMC coming out this week. So you want to be very, very careful. There's so much news going back and forth, so many things that can cause a spike one way or a spike the other way. Be sure that you are informed, that you're aware. This is why, again, beyond just the technicals and what you see on the charts, everything around you what's going on in the world does matter, because it prepares you that much more when you know what's going around you and you can prepare ahead of time and position yourself in a way to make money. All right, guys. So it's all about making money. It's all about being prepared. Let's use this information to conquer the rest of the week. Let's get it, guys. So if you like this video, guys, please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, guys, peace.